Hello and welcome to the conversation. You're with India Post Live, and this is the Cricket Caravan where we discuss the ongoings of cricket matches. And of course, at this point of time, there's nothing more to discuss except the IPL 7. So, we're going to start the conversation about the games that were held on Thursday night. And to discuss more on this, I have with me Harpal Singh Bedi, senior sports journalist, and we of course have Anand Vasu joining us from Bangalore. Anand of course is with Wisden. Anand, I'll start with you. We know we've been discussing the comeback of the Kolkata Knight Riders. I mean, phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, the early position when they had 2 wins from 5 matches, they were in real deep trouble, and people were calling them all sorts of names back then. Some were suggesting they were choking, some were suggesting that the team was not coming together. Eventually, inevitably, these things happen when you don't do well, especially in the beginning of the tournament. And to win matches on the trot like they have, to get 6 games in a row, it's always very difficult. We've seen when somebody like the Royal Challengers of Bangalore have been pushed into a similar position. They've managed to get 1 or 2 wins, but then if you miss your step even on any single day, you get knocked out of the tournament. So I think it's all credit to KKR for the way they've done.
Okay, sir. I mean, there was a time when we had this discussion and we said that KKR is almost out. Gambhir was not performing, and all of a sudden, I mean, the team comes together.
7 matches, 2 wins, 5 losses. And if you had asked any self-styled expert like me, I would have said no. Obviously, 7 matches and you have won only 2, lost 5, and you are with 4 points. And people are making joke about Shah Rukh Khan that he has a lot of money. Yesterday we came to know he's the second richest film star in the world. That is, having said that, and also what is the combination? It is very easy. When you lose, anybody come and start picking up and say what sort of team it is. But 6 matches in a row, not only they are in the 4th position, they are trying to be in the first, in the second at least. And look at, compared to our Calcutta Knight Riders, Rajasthan Royals, they are struggling to hold on to the position which they could have easily won. But actually, come to think of it, we had already decided who were the 3rd team, 3 teams. 4th we were discussing. First was Chennai Super King, Punjab and Rajasthan Royals. Now at the moment, it looks like Rajasthan Royals may be knocked out. So it is a question is how you stage a comeback and how you hold on to your position. At the moment, Rajasthan Royal is in a very shaky position. If they win today, fine, they will go in. But if they don't win it, I think they will be knocked out. So it's a very precarious situation for Rajasthan and very interesting situation for Kolkata Knight Riders.
Okay, we'd like to remind our viewers that you can also participate on our conversations by logging on to our site indiapostlive.com. Of course, indiapostlive.com is India's first online news conversation web TV. You can just log on to our site, or you can send us your messages on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @IndiaPostLive. Continuing with the discussion on the Cricket Caravan, I'll come to you, Anand. We were discussing with Shamya a few days ago, and he was like he was very optimistic about the Rajasthan Royals. But
no, I'm not saying. I'm saying just they are struggling to hold on to position. I'm not saying that they're out. They can. But see, look at we just comparing with Kolkata and Rajasthan. A team which was virtually out has staged a comeback, and a team which was virtually almost in, is now struggling to stay put there.
Yeah. Is it a sort of the pressures on the mind more than the game?
Well, I think also it helps to have a certain kind of settled combination, which is what has played a big role in Calcutta's success as well. When they moved Robin Uthappa up the order pretty much at his own insistence and started scoring consistently. He's got 40 plus in 7 matches in a row now.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen very often. But if you have openers who are consistently putting runs on the board, then in this T20 format, you have other guys who can come in and contribute once in a way. You have somebody like Shakib who scored one half century. But it was a crucial half century. The opposition has been trying to play out Sunil Narine as much as possible. They don't give him wickets. They play him carefully. 4 overs, 25 runs kind of thing. They're happy with it. But when Calcutta have batted first and put a big score on the board, you can't really afford to play out 4 overs of any bowler, which is what we saw yesterday. And then he picked up 4 wickets before you could know it. And it's not as though he bowled spectacularly better or anything like that. I think Rajasthan, having reached a certain stage, were also keen to experiment with some different players in their side. They gave first match of the season to someone like an Unmukt Chand. They brought in some of their new foreign players. I suspect they did that because if they do qualify and then finally in the last minute if somebody gets injured, you don't want to have a player playing his first match of the tournament in a knockout match.
Okay.
Ideally, they should have made it completely
Comfortably.
clear that they had qualified. They should have got that 8 wins under the belt and then done the experimenting. But perhaps they thought they were so close that it was only a matter of time, and now they've put themselves under a bit of pressure. Bedi Saab is perfectly right in that.
Yeah, a lot of pressure. Let's just look at the Wisden impactometer and what it says about the match between the KKR and RCB. There you have it. Robin Uthappa. Robin Uthappa is being pretty consistent as far as being the highest impact player is concerned. We've been seeing him come more
Come
often.
to think of it, nobody used to talk about Robin Uthappa. Now Anand has said, and you have said, he has scored 40s in a trot. But we were so obsessed with Maxwell and other big hitters. Or rather, we are so upset with Gale. When he will come? His day has not come. And if it comes, it is over, almost over. So we are obsession with the big hitters and we are obsession with the big scores. Has put Robin Uthappa in under shade. But see his performance. And every performance has contributed in Kolkata Knight Riders' victory. Most of the performers have put, see, this is small contribution, but as Anand said, he gave them a sound start. Where IPL actually is basically T20 is big about big hits and big sixes. So we got carried away by Maxwell or Miller or expecting a Gale, which never happened. Or McCallum, he has gone back to New Zealand, trying to whether he was asked to, whether he was approached or not. So there's so many things. And then Virat Kohli and our Yuvraj Singh, most expensive player. So having said that, I think Robin Uthappa's contribution, if they reach final, it will be one of the men responsible for Kolkata Knight Riders' resurgence and making them to reach final with Robin Uthappa. And I will not be, if I have it my way, he will be man of the series or a man of the tournament.
Okay, that's Anand. I mean, he's been the silent performer. I mean, finally now people are talking about him.
Yeah, and it was quite an unusual innings, even the last one, for someone to open the batting in a 2020 match and then play through the whole 20 overs. In 20 overs is not a whole lot of time. Robin's had a very good season this year. In the 5 Ranji Trophy matches he's played, he's scored runs. He was out through injury in the early part of the season. Then he did well in the domestic one-dayers. He did well in the T20 competition. So it's not as though he's just performing in this IPL. He's had a very strong last perhaps 10 to 11 months. And he's modified the way he plays. We were discussing this the other day just on this show. When he played for India early on as a young man, he was primarily a hitter, somebody who could play some innovative shots, come down the pitch to the fast bowlers. Yeah. Now he realizes that he's 29, which is still not very old, 28, 29. Perhaps a good age for him to make a comeback into the team, knowing just what he's capable of, understanding his game, and translating that into runs. We can keep waiting for the big hitters to have their day, but you can't have a team full of 11 big hitters. Every team needs 1 or 2 Robin Uthappas, and I think he's showing his value to Calcutta.
But Anand, talking about big hitters, I mean, the other team, the RCB, had a lot of big hitters, but, we've seen none of them performing. I mean, be it Chris Gale or Yuvraj Singh.
Well, Yuvraj, in the last 3 games, has had 3 or 4 games, has done quite well. He had a 83 of only 38 balls, another very strong contribution soon after that.
Yeah.
But I don't think that Yuvraj, you expected too many, not only one inning. Everybody can score. If you play and 13, if you are played 14 crore rupees and you are asked, no, it is like asking somebody who box every day and you go and box with Mike Tyson. He is also going to give a one punch to Mike Tyson. Doesn't mean that Virat Kohli and Yuvraj, lot was expected from them.
Yeah.
Now Anand picked up one inning or 2 innings, let's say 3 innings. But here Uthappa, unsung, and you have 9 or 8 innings, and the man has single-handedly, virtually taken Kolkata to Knight Riders. So there is a difference. Anand may not agree with you to pick up Yuvraj Singh for 2 innings is, I think, doing injustice to Vijay Mallya, who spent so much money.
Yeah, I think what Harpal sir is trying to say is that you have people like Uthappa and Shakib performing for the Kolkata Knight Riders, and you have these big names, Gale, AB de Villiers, and Virat Kohli, of course, and Yuvraj. So, I mean, somewhere down the line, the big names are not performing.
No, they haven't. Certainly, as far as Bangalore goes, they went at the start of the tournament, everybody thought that they had such a strong batting lineup that it didn't really matter how their bowling did. I mean, you had Gale, Kohli, AB de Villiers, Yuvraj Singh, with just these four in a 20-over game, you should be scoring 200 almost every single day. But cricket doesn't work like that, as we've seen. Gale was injured at some point in the tournament. Yuvraj came into the tournament not in the best frame of mind. He's improved. AB de Villiers prefers to bat after 10 overs are completed. That's his comfort zone. And Virat Kohli, he's been going through a purple patch for the last 1.5 years in every format of the game. Test cricket, one-day cricket, T20 cricket. I suppose Indian fans will be thinking if he has to fail, it's better he fails for an IPL team. And Mr. Maglia may not agree with that, but if he can rediscover his form playing for India, the fans will be happy.
Yeah, okay. So talking about openers like Uthappa, well, let's move to the other game that happened, Chennai Super Kings versus Sunrisers Hyderabad. Harpal sir, I'd like to ask you, I mean, again, we have another opener who's doing well, David Warner.
See, about Chennai Super King, it is not their problem, it is the problem of media. We build them up so much that this is a team which cannot do anything wrong. They know how to play, they know how to pace, they know how to bat after 10 overs. Dhoni is the biggest finisher, and come what may, they have the whole lot, and that was true. But suddenly they hit, as right as they say, cricket doesn't work like that. And last 3 matches they have lost. And that exposed, while batting first, and that exposed their bowling. Remember, it is the exposure of bowling of Hyderabad also. They have one of the fantastic bowling lineup. If you think of it, that other team can score, they can scuttle out other teams. But yesterday's match has exposed both teams' bowling, and especially Chennai Super Kings. They have lost 3 matches. They have not been able, and they scored well, but they could not defend that score.
Let's have a look at the impact index of Wisden as far as this game is concerned. And there, David Warner again. Last game also he was up there. Dhoni is there at 4.44, and Karan Sharma also makes it. But clearly, it's David Warner who's been making the difference as far as the Sunrisers Hyderabad is concerned. So, if I can come to you, Anand, as Sir was saying, Chennai Super Kings, just larger than life image, or perhaps somewhere just getting out of that zone, 3 wins in a row.
3 losses.
3 losses in a row, I'm sorry.
Has been the kind of team that has had consistent performances in the IPL. They generally make the Final Four, and they've had more success even in the knockout games than other teams. So there is that build-up every time. There is an expectation that at least they will make the Final Four. And this time also they assembled a fairly strong unit. I mean, the likes of Graeme Smith and Brendan McCullum, while still retaining Dhoni, Raina, guys like that who've been part of the team, who played 100 plus matches for the Chennai Super Kings. So naturally the expectations have been very high on the side, and the early performances didn't do anything to suggest that the expectations were misplaced. Of course, their bowling attack has been on more than one occasion very lucky in that the batting has bailed them out, finishing a game in the last over or the second last over. If Chennai continue to bowl like this, they're going to find that one day or another, a team with a good batting lineup is really going to hurt them badly. Just as we saw both the times when they played against the Kings 11 Punjab. It didn't matter what runs Chennai put on the board, the Kings 11 went past.
Yeah, also talking about the opening partnership as far as Sunrisers Hyderabad is concerned. I mean, we've had this conversation earlier about, what was the need to push David Warner down the order and send him at number 4. I mean, better late than never for the Sunrisers Hyderabad.
Yeah, it looks like we were discussing it on a very theoretical level in the studio, but in a very practical manner, the management of the Hyderabad team has also realized that he's sort of being wasted in the middle order, and is much better off playing him at the top of the order. I mean, Aaron Finch hasn't really been among the runs, and Shikhar Dhawan has been really inconsistent. He's looked good in patches, but he hasn't kind of delivered the volume of runs you would expect of a top India player in an IPL team. And so I think beyond a point, they had no option but to go back to putting one up the order. And when they've done that, they've got the results.
Arbal said, no option. I mean, Shikhar Dhawan, when we came into the IPL 7, there was a lot of expectation from him, but he was captain, and then we've seen him
unfortunately, all the top 4 Delhi players, which may be playing from different teams, they were under pressure, and Virat Kohli, Sehwag, Gautam Gambhir and Shikhar Dhawan. Come to think of it, forget about Gautam Gambhir's recent resurgence and scoring here or there, but all 4 flopped. Come to think of all, and they have taken on themselves that this IPL is a sort of a selection for national team. So I don't know. It is not a second team, as Anand rightly put it. That fans may be hoping that let him flop, Virat Kohli flop here rather than in team. But somewhere back in the mind of Virat Kohli or even Yuvraj Singh or come to the North Indian players, all of them big guns failed to fire somewhere because the pressure was there on them that they have to perform and get into the Indian team. Little they realize that this IPL has nothing to do with Indian team. But they might have got this idea. When Sehwag struggling, one or two, Gautam Gambhir struggling, one or two innings, Virat Kohli flop, and Shikhar Dhawan only yesterday or one or more innings. So all these four big guns, where I don't know what happened to them, but T20 was for them to enjoy, and they were all the captains, barring Sehwag. But their performance has let them their fans down. Now, now if for Virat Kohli, as Anand said, fans may be hoping that he has hit this low and he will click. But if everybody, fans start hoping that they fail here, and so the franchise will run away. See, if every fan starts thinking that their heroes fail in IPL and they click for India, then who will play for IPL, my friend?
But sir, the law of averages, I mean, definitely has to catch up somewhere.
No, law of average is fine. Virat Kohli is okay. But what about others? Where is the law of average? Exactly. What happens to Gale? Now, everybody was threatening that let Gale come. No, as long as Gale went alone, let Gale come. And everybody says it's a very pet phrase, on his day has never come. Now, when his day will come, in the last match of the, suppose now he scores a century, and next match also he scores a century. What is the use of that? Or even come to think of Yuvraj Singh, come to think of Virender Sehwag. So all this, and if Gautam Gambhir is lucky, at the moment his failures are being covered because Kolkata Knight Rider has done so phenomenally well. But otherwise, all these 4 or 5 do not deserve the amount of money they are being pumped in. And they are hollow around them that they can decimate any bowling side or any bowling side any day, which they have not done. It is others who have done, and unsung heroes like Uthappa and others.
Okay, so paper tigers. Anand,
I won't use a paper tiger. Don't use this.
Okay, Anand, I'd like to ask you. I mean, it's just an IPL tournament, but somewhere down the line, invariably they tend to think that their performances here will be linked to a selection to the Indian team in the shorter version of the game. Do you think that sort of impression has gone about?
I think there is certainly that impression. Previously, the shortcut to coming to the Indian team was doing well in the Under-19 World Cup, where if a young Indian player did well in the Under-19 World Cup, then it would save him the 2 or 3 years of the hard yards in the Ranji Trophy, and maybe he'd get at least into the public eye. People would hear about him, he'd be written about in the media, he'd do interviews on television. At least his name would be in and around in the selectors' ears every time they sat down for a selection meeting. I think the IPL has certainly played a part in that now. The selectors obviously don't pick a team based only on performances in the IPL. But if someone has had a good Ranji season and has had strong performances in other formats of the game, everybody gets to see just what this guy can do in the IPL, because the Ranji Trophy is not as widely televised as the IPL is. And even if it is, it happens during the day, during work hours. It's not as though the entire nation is sitting around watching the Ranji Trophy happening. But there is a sustained interest in this tournament over 40 days. People are talking about it. There is a buzz that's generated. I think to that extent, the IPL does play a role in keeping a player's name in the limelight, keeping his in highlighting his performances and making sure that people are aware of what he's doing and what he's capable of. So if a junior player thought that the IPL would be a stepping stone for him to the Indian team, I wouldn't blame him for doing that. But guys like Yuvraj Singh, Gautam Gambhir, Virender Sehwag, they've all been around for many, many years, and I'm sure in their heart of hearts they know that just a good performance in the IPL is not going to get them their spots in the Indian team back. They might hope it will, but I think they know it won't.
Yeah, that's true. So, sir, talking about the 4th slot, we've been having the discussions on the 4th slot, but with some games still to go, I mean,
only 2 games each.
Yeah, I mean, right now I think Mumbai and Delhi, the matches must have already started. So,
if Rajasthan loses today, if and buts are there, and Mumbai wins, then Mumbai can still hope. Rajasthan has to win today to end this confusion. and end all this discussion. Who will be the fourth? But if Rajasthan loses today, we have a field day that keep on discussing who will be the fourth team. And it will be very surprising if Rajasthan is knocked out. I hope they are not. But it will be very surprising that how a team has failed. No, this is like you are reaching summit and then suddenly slip down. And other team which was nowhere and reach summit, like Kolkata Knight Riders. If Rajasthan fails, it will have certain ramifications that that team. Everybody said is a great team, great with Rahul Dravid, my friend's friend, Anand Basu's great friend. So it will be very upsetting if Rajasthan, because I like the teams like Rajasthan Royals, I like Punjab, not because of I say Punjab, but it is a well-balanced side, not much money has been spent, but here is a one team which should win. I hope they win against Punjab today, but otherwise it will be terrible if they are knocked out.
Okay, Anand, for final comments, I mean, Rajasthan Royals has a tough game, with Kings 11 Punjab.
They have two tough games. They have to play next Mumbai also, my friend.
Yeah, so I mean, really, with the back against the wall, what is your take as far as today's games are concerned?
Well, they have their backs to the wall certainly, but they'll also have the satisfaction in knowing that they need one win. If they one win, like Bedi Saab said, all the confusion is ended. There's no more permutation, combination, and they're through. So that's what they'll be looking at. And we've seen in the past also, Rajasthan have used certain bowlers very carefully and very cleverly to bowl a very specific line of attack against opposition batsmen. I'm sure that they have a plan. They have a similar plan like that for Maxwell, which has been the talking point for every team really. What do you do with Maxwell? This team will have a plan. Whether it works or not, that depends on what Maxwell does on the day. I don't think anyone can stop him if he gets going.
Okay. Thanks so much, Anand, for joining us. It was great to have you on the conversation. So, sir, final words from you. I mean, he thinks Maxwell will not score today.
Who?
Anand.
Everybody must be hoping, not necessarily. And now, this is a battle between Sanjay Bangar and Rahul Dravid. Remember, the two Indians, hopefully. As far as my friend Anand is concerned, hopefully Rahul Dravid will score. And but in any case, if Punjab loses also, they are through to that. So one can give a concession, why not? Let Rahul win today.
Okay. On that note, thank you so much, Harpal, for joining us. So there you have it from our experts. The consensus seems to be let Rajasthan go out and win this game. So there will be less of number crunching for all of us. We played enough snakes and ladders as far as the IPL 7 score, the score teams, the team scores are concerned. So here's wishing all the teams the very best. May the best team win. And you can, of course, log into our site, indiapostlive.com, and post your comments. You can also participate in our conversations. You can also send us your feedback on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @IndiaPostLive. The conversations will continue. Thanks so much for watching the Cricket Caravan.